So what is a property tax foreclosure and how on earth does that work? Well, I got good news. I've been buying properties at tax foreclosures since 1989, and I'm going to share with you the insider secrets, give you some tips, and get you the way to get started properly in property tax foreclosures. Now, you'll sometimes hear these called tax sales or tax deed auctions. What they are is when someone doesn't pay their real estate taxes, typically for 3 or 4 years, then the county will sell that property at an auction so they can collect the money because they need to pay the mayor, the county pothole repair crews, the guys who pick up the trash. They got to pay all their bills, and they need you to pay your real estate taxes to do that, so they're dead serious about collecting those real estate taxes. So what happens when someone doesn't pay? They'll get many, many notices. They'll get notice upon notice. Their property will be advertised in the local newspaper to the extent that anyone still reads it. They'll put out notices on the internet and lists of properties to be sold. They'll get certified mail, so they'll know about the sale. And as a buyer, you can go to a public auction, often online these days, or it'll be in person at the courthouse, but more and more commonly they're becoming online. And you can bid and get properties. And the bidding starts really cheaply. The bidding starts at the taxes owed. So typically you're talking about 3 to 4 years worth of taxes. Taxes on average are a little less than 2% of the home value in a given year. So let's just do some math. Don't want to scare anybody. We'll do a little math here. Average house in America is about $400,000. If you have 2% tax rate, that means your tax bill is about $8,000 per year. If you fall 4 years behind in your taxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's $32,000 behind in taxes. Now, of course, there are penalties and interest. They're pretty high with taxes. That's probably going to bump that $32,000 to probably something like $50,000. So you owe $50,000, and when they start the bidding at the public auction, it starts at the amount of taxes that are due. So there's $50,000 in taxes due. That's what the opening bid is. And if you bid $50,000, you're going to get the property, assuming there are no other bidders. Now, is that reality? Not generally. Usually there are other bidders there. So other bidders will be bidding either online or in person. They're raising their hands and bidding. And generally speaking, these properties are going to go for 70 to 80% of their as-is value. So it takes into consideration repairs. Let's say you have a $400,000 house, ignoring repairs. Let's say it doesn't need anything, just so the math is easy. It's going to sell for somewhere between $280,000 and $320,000, which is a great deal, right? Obviously, it's a great deal because you're sitting there as a bidder. If you could buy that house for $320,000, you get $80,000 off of retail. So it can be a fantastic place to acquire properties. And occasionally it'll really ring the bell and there won't be other bidders. And you will get it for just the taxes that are owed, which is absolutely fantastic. And make sure to stay on at the end because I will show you a way to get properties consistently for just taxes owed through this little known sort of secret way of doing it that a friend of mine developed that very few people know about, and it's absolutely the rock star way to do it. But in the meanwhile, let's get back into some details here. So the first thing you might want to know is, well, Bob, where do I get these lists? Super easy. You can get the list by just searching online. And what you want to do is pick out a county that you're interested in and then just look for a tax sale list. Like, for example, if you said DeKalb County, Georgia tax sale list, what you'd find is DeKalb County holds a sale every month, and they put out the list about 30 to 45 days in advance of next month's sales. And that list is available for free on the internet, and it'll show you all the properties that are going to be sold. And then you're free to research them, you're free to check them out, and you're free to go ahead and bid with everybody else, and the high bidder wins. Now, there are a lot of things to know about this. You need to know, for example, that property comes free and clear of liens like judgments and mortgages and things like that. When a property goes through tax sale, those are no longer liens on the property in every state of the union except Pennsylvania. So if you're in Pennsylvania, then definitely go check out a video that I recorded on how tax sales work in Pennsylvania. But for everybody else, like you're looking in Georgia or anywhere else, those properties are going to come free and clear of mortgages and other liens. So you need to know lots. You need to know what do you do if someone is in the property, meaning it's occupied by a tenant or a former owner. And one of the things you need to know is that the county's not going to do anything about that. They're not going to clear the person out. They're not delivering the property to you at a settlement and handing you the keys or anything like that. You become the owner, but you don't get that. You also need to know things like rights of redemption. What's that, you say? Well, a right of redemption is when some former owner has the right to pay the taxes even after the sale and then keep the property. For example, in Georgia, which is where DeKalb County is, there is a 1-year right of redemption. So for a year after the sale, that owner can come and pay the taxes that are past due, plus repay you your money plus 20%, and they get to keep the house. Now, you'll get your money back plus 20%, which is fantastic, but you don't get the house. And also, in most states with rights of redemption, you can't set foot on the property or do anything to it until after that right of redemption is expired. So for example, in Georgia, you're going to be waiting at least a year before you get that property and can do anything with it. So you just need to know those kinds of things. So if you're going to be in this business, you need to first educate yourself. Please do not just go and bid at one of those auctions like, oh, I get this amazing deal. Do not do that. Because when you don't know what you're doing, you can get into things that you had no anticipation of at all and get yourself in very expensive problems. Just for example, in Pennsylvania, people will come and bid at sales like, I just got this amazing property. It's a $500,000 property. I got it for 50 grand. Wow, this is amazing. Yeah, and they don't realize that it has a $500,000 mortgage on it. And in Pennsylvania, the mortgages are not eliminated. So congratulations, you just got a $500,000 house for $50,000 plus a $500,000 mortgage. So it's not anything for an uneducated person to do. So my suggestions are, if you want to learn how to do this, that you learn from a good friend of mine who just is the rock star in the buying a tax sale business. He is the guy that knows this business better than anybody, and he developed this proprietary way that he teaches, that other people don't teach, this way of acquiring properties where you don't have to go to the auction, you don't have to compete with other bidders, and you can buy them for just the past taxes that are due. Really amazing way of doing business. I sat down with him recently, and we sat down and had about a 20-minute conversation about tax sales and about what he does. Go check that out. It's free. It's another YouTube video. I'll put a link up to it. If your browser supports it, I'll ask my editors, could you just put a link up there to Tony's video? And if you don't see the link up there, just look down below the video and click on that link. Definitely check out my video with Tony, because that is the way to buy properties at tax sale. That really cuts down the risk. It's much less competitive. You're not competing with every bidder that's out there. Instead, you're just literally buying properties for the past taxes that are due, and they can be absolutely amazing deals. I did this, and I did this before I met Tony just by accident. This property you see on your screen, which is in Stanbridge Street in Norristown, I put this thing for $275. Because it got overlooked at the sale and nobody bought it, which is what happens sometimes. Because that particular auction had like 4,000 properties in it, and you can't check out 4,000 properties in a month or so that you get where you get the list versus when the sale is. You just can't search that many properties. So I picked this thing up for $275, which is amazing. It was a standing house. It was in bad condition for sure. About $30,000 was invested in it. It was resold for $65,000. So it was a good, profitable little deal. But those kinds of deals are available all the time using what Tony teaches. So definitely go check that out. And if you're interested in tax sales in general, definitely subscribe to my channel, because I'm always talking about tax sales, mortgage foreclosure sales, overages, which is the business that I do, which is related to tax sales. Now, this is my specialty area. I'm a real estate attorney by trade. I've been a real estate investor since 1989. And I have lots to share with you that I would love to help you become a better educated investor and be successful right from the outset. Because as an attorney, I clean up a lot of messes for people, and I really don't need more messes to clean up. So if you could just educate yourself, you'd be in much better shape. So definitely subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, give it a like. That'll help more people to see it. And whatever you do, I wish you the best of luck, Godspeed, and great success in your investing business. Real estate investing and tax sales can be a fantastic area to be involved in, as long as you're educated. It can be a really great source of profits and pride, because you can fix up houses and make them really beautiful. So this is Attorney Bob Diamond. If you want to know more about this, just check out Tony's video. You'll learn about that new way of investing. And obviously subscribe and like this video, and I will see you next time.